little numbers. The tiny numbers next to that is the number within the year. So that's 1600s. I think that's 1648, 1610, 1643, 1608. I do believe. 1603. So apparently it seems like, oh. See what I'm saying? That's when we building together, frequency. Alright, so let's will drop all the time about how they came here, took all our shit, took our writings, took them back, then did his book, and dropped the 1611 mixtape that we hold and act like, oh, this King James did it for us. He took a voyage here himself. Charles V, King Charles, all the Charleses, these are dark Edomites. The Portuguese are dark, the Spaniards are dark. The white folks that came here are mercenaries, hired by these melanated dark people of Europe that were still ruling. So the Renaissance period beginning is one, this discovery here, right? So now they finally got to us, right? They twin brother. We're the twin brother, right? Edomite, Idumea, right? We the twin brother. They get to us, they got the mercenaries on us. This is for their new world. But of course they get overthrown, and Edomites also get put, those same Hebrew Edomites got put in slavery with us here. Alright? So now we're all here together. We've been here together. So what does it say? Where my battery go? I'm on page 85. I'm in chapter 7. English discoveries and settlements continued. It says the 10th of April, 1606. All right. So we just read 1600s. King James came. 1603. What does it say? The 10th of April, 1606 was full of fate in the destinies. Destiny. Yeah. Of the Western continent. On that day, King James I issued 2 great patents directed to men of his kingdom. So King James I, April 10th, 1606, issues direct patents directed to men of his kingdom, authorizing them to possess and colonize all that portion of North America lying between the 34th and 35th parallels of latitude. The immense tract thus embraced extended from the mouth of Cape Fear River to Passamaquoddy Bay, and westward to the Pacific Ocean. The first patent was granted to an association of nobles, gentlemen, and merchants residing at London and called the London Company. Purchase your text. While the second instrument was issued to a similar body which had been organized at Plymouth in southwestern England and which bore the name Plymouth Company. To the former corporation was assigned all the region between the 34th and 38th degrees of latitude, and to the latter the tract extending from the 41st to the 45th degree. The narrow belt of these 3 degrees lying between the 38th and 41st parallels was to be equally open to the colonies of either company. So these are companies, corporations. This is the second world. You're the first world. This is what they're doing to the first world. They're putting corporations on you.
YouTube Music Premium.
Plymouth Company, London Company. The narrow belt of the 3 degrees lying between the 38th and 41st parallels was to be equally open to the colonies of either company, but no settlement of one party was to be made within less than 100 miles of the nearest settlement of the other. See how they were mapping out your land? You see why the government still got 770 million acres of your land in a trust right now? You see why the 4 corners are yours, why everything is yours? This is the proof. The nature and extent of these grants will be fully understood from our examination of the accompanying map. Only the London Company was successful under its charter in planting an American colony. So the London Company is the one that planted the American colony. The company is is the London Company. The corporation is the London Company. The American colony is owned by the London Company. And this is their territory. These beats on the track.
Beats on the track.
King James the First, before he wrote your 1611 or put together or had it put together 1611, in 1603, what did he do? What did the king do? What did King James do? In 1603? What did he do? He came here in 1603, and then what did he do? The 10th of April, 1606 was full of fate in the destinies of the Western continent on that day. Listen up. It's the baby, let's get it out the bathwater. On that day, King James I issued 2 great patents directed to men of his kingdom, Edomites, Hebrew Edomites, authorizing them to possess and colonize all that portion of North America lying between the 34th and 35th parallels of latitude. The immense tract thus embraced extended from the mouth of Cape Fear River to Passamaquoddy Bay in west of the Pacific Ocean. King James I issued these patents, and it authorized these mercenaries to possess and colonize, to possess and colonize, to possess and to colonize. What did we just kick with the dumb diverses in 1452 Papal Bull? This was the Vatican, the Pope Nicholas V issuing his authority to the kings of Spain and Portugal. But then now you got this authority also hitting on King James, and King James with that authority from the dumb diverses, alright, then extends his authority and issues 2 great patents in 1606 directed to the men of his kingdom, authorizing them to possess and colonize all that portion of North America, and you know the rest.
So let me ask you a question. How can you rock? How can you rock with a King James Bible when he came over here and conquered our people with his kingdom authority, a black Hebrew Edomite, there's white and black ones too, our skin folk ain't kinfolk, to conquer and to colonize with his company, right? An instructment was issued to do what? Take our shit. And you thought he did you a favor by giving you a King James Bible, when all he did was remix and turned it into a complete slave book to get you to worship their deity, the devil. The devil had his hand in everything. Peace and love. Praise to the Creator, nobody else.